What's up, YouTube? JM Comics back after a 3 week hiatus. A lot of work. Okay. Revolutionaries and Disappointments. The 5 most original and 5 most lazy Nintendo Switch games. Let's begin. Okay, Nintendo is one of the biggest video game companies of all time and one of the best. The vast majority of their products, at least their games, Joy-Cons, are made with love and effort. But every company has cut corners at one point or another, and the Big N is no exception. Ever since the original NES, Nintendo consoles have been appealing mainly because of their exclusives, especially when compared to Microsoft and Sega. Xbox shots fired. Sony's cool though, Sony's fine, PlayStation. With the Nintendo Switch, however, Nintendo still delivers with dozens of instant classics, but a good amount of first party duds and cash grabs. This list is going to list 5 of the Switch's most original AAA games, games in which the developers poured their hearts and souls into, delivering an amazing experience, and 5 of the Switch's most lazy AAA games, which, while not all bad games, make minor improvements as sequels or are just blatant cash grabs. Don't take this one too seriously though, as at least one edition is going to offend you, I assure you. Ahead of time, I'm going to call it. The Joy-Cons almost made it to the lazy list. Besides the drift, my Joy-Cons plastic broke after falling down 3 feet. It's just bad quality. Okay, number 5, most revolutionary, we have Fire Emblem Free Houses. Not gonna lie here, I know little to nothing about the meat of this game. But from what I know and have heard, this game is a masterpiece. Hence the title. In this game, you play as a professor who teaches at one of 3 houses: Golden Deer, Blue Lions, and Black Eagles, with a DLC house titled Ashen Wolves. When you take a moment to think about it, you get 3 vastly different plot lines to follow through, with each taking 80 plus hours to beat. Do the math and you get over 200 hours worth of content for the price of $60. It's a reverse cash grab, giving you free games for the cost of one. Unlike Pokemon, in which you buy 2 games with little to no differences if you want the full experience. More on that franchise later. Regardless of how you cut it, Fire Emblem Free Houses deserves more love, and I'll be sure to check it out eventually. Because I got it for Christmas, just haven't got around to it yet. Okay, now on to the lazy. Number 5, for most lazy, we have 1-2-Switch. This game sucks. But technically, it wasn't a lazy attempt, it was just a stupidly overpriced game that should have been a pack-and switch title. This game has abysmal reviews, which is such a shame considering Nintendo console's history with having revolutionary technology demos, such as Wii Sports of the Wii and Nintendo Land of the Wii U. I even prefer Face Raiders on the 3DS over this, since I could at least get 3 hours of entertainment out of that for free. While it sucks and is a total disappointment on all levels, 1-2-Switch isn't so much lazy, but much rather a literal cash grab in which Nintendo set out to create a stupid tech demo and succeeded. At number 4, most revolutionary, we have Luigi's Mansion 3. Luigi's Mansion 3 is one of the best games of 2019 and helped boost the popularity of Nintendo's C-tier obscure franchise, starring the lesser of the Mario Brothers. While Dark Moon on the 3DS improved on all aspects of the GameCube original, the advancements made in the third installment are undeniable. They are inevitable. The graphics are Pixar level, the mechanics are tighter than ever, the bosses are imaginative, and the game actually integrates a fun co-op with Gooigi. The online, while not outstanding, it's Nintendo we're talking about, is an improvement over Dark Moon and still a pretty fun time. The DLC pack is a bit lacking compared to the core game, but more is always better than less. Next Level Games really outdid themselves with this spooky sequel, and I can't wait to see where they take this franchise next: Luigi's Cruise or Luigi's Spaceship. Personally, I kind of hope that they make a new Punch-Out game, so come on, Next Level, get on it. At number 4 most lazy, we have Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm aware of the fans and the pitchforks and the torches, but I'm looking at this objectively. Animal Crossing New Horizons is a great game, one of the Switch's best, but it is pretty lazy in comparison to previous installments. New Horizons was potentially rushed out. The game was moved back multiple times, originally slated for a 2019 release, hinting at Nintendo's rush to get it out. The game is also sort of empty. New Leaf on the 3DS had tons of features on it from day one, and New Horizons is getting more content drip-fed into the base game through free updates. Many of these additions returning from previous games, and they should have been in the core game to begin with. My real question is whether this was Nintendo's plan or they unintentionally released an incomplete game. We'll never know. At number 3 of most revolutionary, we have one of my personal favorites, Astral Chain. This game released in August 2019 and was pretty under the radar, even though it sold well. That just baffles me. Astral Chain is one of the best action games on the Switch, and every aspect, the combat, art style, concept, story, controls, and characters, is made with love and effort from Platinum Games. This is their best project since Bayonetta 2 in 2014 on the Wii U, and you shouldn't miss out on it. One of the reasons it wasn't talked about much is probably the fact that it released in 2019, a packed year for the Switch of stuff such as Mario Maker 2, Link's Awakening, and Luigi's Mansion 3. And one must wonder how successful it would have been in 2020. Like, come on, that year was empty. If you're hating on Cyberpunk 2077, because we all are, or looking for a game world to escape to, which we all are, Astral Chain is definitely worth adding to your Switch library. If for no other reason, buy it for the stray cats that you save in each level. At number 3, most lazy, we have Pokemon Sword and Shield. You knew this one was coming eventually. Pokemon Sword and Shield are utter disappointments when you consider the potential they had. Before you hear my argument, consider this. Pokemon is the highest selling franchise of all time, outselling both Marvel and Star Wars. With this in consideration, Pokemon Sword and Shield were the first mainline Pokemon games to be released on a home, or technically hybrid, console, and therefore the Pokemon Company could revolutionize the entire series. Instead, we got a buggy game that reused assets from their 3DS, such as the tree on the side, like right here, pathetic, featured a bland story, and was essentially the same core game we've been playing since the Game Boy. The only real advancement was the wild area, but that does not excuse the game's blatant flaws. Man, Pokemon Company, get those Diamond and Pearl remakes right. And number 2 most revolutionary, we have Super Mario Odyssey. The Nintendo Switch and Super Mario Odyssey will forever be synonymous. You can't own a Switch without owning Mario Odyssey. Like Super Mario 64 and Mario Galaxy, Odyssey was a revolutionary platformer upon release. It served as both a return to form to Mario 64 and Sunshine's open worlds, and a huge step forward for the franchise, introducing costumes, power moves, and of course, the core mechanic, Cappy. Giving Mario the power to capture and possess enemies is new ground for his franchise, taking a page out of Kirby's book, and it is executed perfectly. While it's one of my personal least favorite 3D Marios, I acknowledge the quality of the game, and thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. It was also my first game on the Switch, and I'm glad it was. I'm willing to bet that a sequel in the vein of Mario Galaxy 2 is in the works at Nintendo. If I had to bet, I'd say it's coming out 2022 or early 2023. At number 2 most lazy, we have Kirby Star Allies. Kirby Star Allies was not a bad game by any means. It was just another Kirby game, and the most basic one by far. Kirby Star Allies is the most mediocre game in the Kirby series, while the Wii's Return to Dreamland and 3DS installments like Triple Deluxe and Planet Robobot games are dear to my heart, each introduced new mechanics or perfected older ones. Star Allies' new mechanic is promising but poorly executed. Mind-controlling enemies is a cool concept, but in practice it made the game way easier, and most bosses can be beaten by button spamming. Also, consider the short amount of time it takes to finish and the repetitive completion process, and you have a disappointing sequel. At least the reception to this game has led HAL Labs to start creating a new game which they promise as a revolution to the franchise. You see that? Pokemon Company. HAL Labs listens to their fans. Come on, guys. Okay, now for some honorable mentions. For revolutionary games, we have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Mario plus Rabbids. Smash Ultimate, in this game, Sakurai poured his heart and soul into creating the pinnacle of this huge fighting franchise. And while it's kind of reminiscent of the Wii U version, it's still a top-notch game, and it feels like they really poured their heart into making this one the best it could be. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is a crossover game, and Ubisoft delivered one of the best crossovers of all time. It serves as a strategic and clever parody of the Mario universe. For lazy games, we have Super Mario Maker 2, which breaks my heart, but Nintendo really dropped the ball when they stopped updating this masterpiece. If this game got more updates and more amiibo costumes, or like other Nintendo costumes, it would have been way better than it actually was. But as it stands, many of the Wii U games concepts were omitted from this sequel. Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Personally, I don't get it, but many fans are disappointed in the lack of new content in this collection. As I see it, it's free games packed into one $60 package, so might as well just get it. At number 1 revolutionary, we have The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Of course, you have to have seen this coming. Breath of the Wild is one of Nintendo's best games ever. Nay, it's one of the best video games ever. This game did so much for the Zelda franchise, especially at a point where the 3D Zeldas were growing stale. It also marks Nintendo's first attempt at creating an open-world RPG, and I can't wait to see what other franchises they tried in this fashion. Hopefully Star Fox or Kid Icarus, please. Along with being a blast, this game also spawned the prequel, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, and the sequel, simply titled Breath of the Wild 2 for now. I don't know what else can be said about a game so often praised on the internet, except that you should go pick it up right now. If you're one of the few people who own the Wii U and not a Switch, like who are you? Buy that version anyway. You will not be disappointed. And coming in at number 1 for most lazy, a game I personally hate, Super Mario Party. There is nothing you can say to change my mind about this game. Super Mario Party was supposed to be the chosen one. Come on, Anakin, you're supposed to be the chosen one. The return to form. Instead, we got a bland reboot that is arguably worse than Mario Party 10. The most lazy flaw of this game is the boards. There are only 4 boards in this game. The game that is 75% board game only features 4 boards, and they aren't even that good. Come on. Among the other problems of this cheap cash grab is the Horde Online mode, where you can only play minigames, the limited control scheme in which you can only play with one Joy-Con, so forget playing in handheld or on the Switch Lite, and the slow pace, even slower than normal with this franchise. The few improvements in this game are the river survival game mode and the graphics, but even they can't save this snooze fest. Now, thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below about which Nintendo games boil your blood and which Nintendo games make you proud to be a Nintendo fan. Check out my top 10 Nintendo characters we need Mario Kart 9 and my top 10 Mario spin-offs. And check out my upcoming list, Zelda Ocarina of Time, 5 reasons it rules and 5 reasons it doesn't, and the top 10 Nintendo Switch games. Bye!